This is the Lakeville Historical Commission, and I'd like to call it to order. Is anybody reporting besides LakeCAM? No.
Say the date.
Hmm?
Want to say the date?
It's 28th of what?
March?
March? Okay. And we are at the senior center.
The minutes of
Yes, the minutes have been
February 20th.
typed, and everyone read your copies of the minutes.
Yeah, I did. I have a couple of things.
You found things? What'd you find?
Well, I just wanted to, in my notes, I had about the townhouse roof, and I had a date of March 9th, but I take it that
That was
because
for
of the
the,
rain.
that wasn't for the roof of the townhouse. That was for the steamroller barn, because they were going to pour the cement footings for the new center stage, and they were going to do the steamroller barn at the same time.
Okay,
So I just said that it had been cleaned and that we had cleaned it out and we
Cleaned it out.
thanked certain people, but I didn't put that information in as
yeah.
general information. What did I do?
Needs,
Two N's, two E's?
no, N-E-E apostrophe S, not N-E-E-S apostrophe.
Oh, I
It'd be two
missed
full
out
names.
the
Yeah,
space.
yeah. And then I didn't get that sentence on the flooring. After discussion about the blank,
Wait a minute, are we talking about the bathroom? After
the
discussion
flooring
about-
of the bathroom, yeah.
About that, oh, about that.
About that, is that
Should
what that's
be.
supposed to be?
It should be that instead of the. Our motion last month about flooring and Paul Nee's recommendation, that's where the apostrophe is in the wrong place. Based on the age of the flooring issue in the building, a motion was made to change your decision to approve sheet vinyl flooring for the bathroom. I think that when we approved, the month before, when we approved and said whatever they used in the
At the
historic library bathroom would be fine in ours. We didn't realize they had used tiles, I don't think we even knew what it was, but we knew it was synthetic and it was okay because of cleanliness and health and all that.
Yeah.
But he said because we said that, he wouldn't use that there because of the unevenness of our floor compared to that floor. So that's why we reconsidered it last month.
Okay.
Well, it wasn't really a reconsideration, it was just a not further motion.
And, I haven't been around, but did they do the doors?
Not yet,
Not yet.
because Paul applied for a CPC grant.
Yeah, okay.
And
I have
so
that in my notes.
That was
Yeah.
after our meeting, though. He wasn't in our meeting.
He was going to.
No, he just asked us at our meeting whether or not we would approve replacing the doors, because there's some issues with the doors. We've got,
Yes.
with the panels and all that.
Yeah.
And we said, yes, it was fine as long as he found something that was historically accurate and all that.
Yeah.
Then he called me after the meeting, and that's when he said, would the Historical Commission mind if I applied for the CPC grant? And I said, well, we wouldn't be applying for it. If you want to do it as building facilities manager, you have every right to do that. So he said, will we support him? And I said, I think that we would support you, yes.
Yeah.
We don't mind how you get the money to pay for
Right,
it, as long
we
as you
just
get the
support the
job
project,
done.
right.
Yeah.
So that is why it wasn't in the minutes, because it was after the fact that happened.
Okay.
Motion to accept the minutes
As amended.
as amended.
Second.
Second. All in favor? Those opposed? Minutes are accepted. Treasurer's report.
Treasurer's report, it's still $57 and,
So everything remains the same as last month?
yes. Now, did you speak to,
Yes.
and what did she say about if we needed more money, that we would be able to?
What Tracy said was that she had money for things like the wreaths on the building and stuff like that.
Yes.
And it could come out of that because she has it for the other town areas or something.
Yeah, that's.
But then we talked about increasing our budget from 500 to 1,000 or even to 750 between now and next year. But it's too late because it has to be done in December.
In December, so we
And
have
it's
to
going to
wait
be a
till
tight
next
year this
year.
year, supposedly. So
Yeah,
the idea is that I said, well, then next year in December, we'll remember to send a letter about the budget and say that we would like to, we'll do it over 2 years to get up to $1,000.
okay.
I say,
and-
because it limits our ability to do programming and things,
Yes.
other things like that.
Did, did we, if we need Memorial Day flowers for the townhouse, can we take it out of that budget that Tracy said we should have taken?
Yes,
It
I
out of-
can ask her if she will cover them, because there
Yes.
isn't going to be enough in the budget to cover them.
Right.
'Cause
See,
they're-
that check for $245, that bill for $245 should have come out of the
Well, yeah.
facilities money instead of out of our
It did the
account.
previous year.
Yes.
Okay, so,
Yes.
yeah, so that's one of the issues there. So anyways, and I think that when we send the letter in, we can say we can cover these things. You don't have to take it out of somebody else's budget, that we would cover the wreaths and we would cover the flowers and everything, and that's why we need to,
Yes.
so that we don't end up with $50
$57.42.
in January or February. Well,
I would like to
in February.
mention, just quickly, that we had Memorial Day because we had Decoration Day, which happened after the Civil War. They started putting flowers on veterans' graves, both the North and the South. And Lakeville used to appropriate, I think, $50 back in 1910.
That was a lot of money.
A lot of
That's a
money
lot
in
of
those
money.
days to put the flowers out on the graves and
Now
around the
they'll probably
old
get
town
you
hall.
2 plants.
So there's a tradition in town of doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And they also fired off cannons on Memorial Day or Decoration Day. How many cannons did we have in Lakeville about 1910? That's the issue.
Did we have
Maybe
that?
somebody out there listening can research for us and come back to us with a response.
Possibility.
Okay.
I move that we accept the treasurer's report as progressive.
I second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Unanimous.
Correspondence?
Okay, correspondence.
Okay, we have had a lot of correspondence. I'm gonna, it's not gonna be in order, but the annual report's gonna be due in May. I received an email today from Christina at the town administrator's office, and a person would like to know if there is any historical record that shows all the old wells or where buildings were at Rocky Woods. And so I emailed her back, and this is gonna talk about this out of order just because it needs to be. If you have deeds of property, sometimes it will mention structures, or it will definitely mention boundary lines.
Mm-hmm.
Rarely do they mention wells.
Where the
Right.
wells are.
So maps might have existing structures that were there shown on some of the older maps, but they don't show wells either, unless it's like a community well or something that, people all gathered for, so it's actually a site. So I'm not sure that we can actually find this information or not.
Well, I think there are 3 house foundations in there at Rocky Woods. And I think there are 3 Reynolds family houses that were up in there.
Okay.
On the other side of Route 140, there is the Reynolds family cemetery with 12 graves. So, yes, they must have had wells to go with the 3 houses.
The issue with that area is too is there's a lot of ledge up there.
A lot of ledge.
So having, I mean.
Do you know how they dug a well? It's
Um,
interesting. Okay, you decide where you want your well to be. It's usually a low point of the ground. All right, they come in from the side, one side, and they scoop the earth out, making a trench off into the distance. And till they keep digging and digging this long trench from an outside edge down to where they want the well to be. And then when they get down to where the groundwater is, they start lining it with stones. And then they fill in the dirt again around the wellhead. And you never know, you can't even see how they dug it.
Now, what time period is that?
Probably going back to Roman times.
Oh, okay.
Roman times.
Well, we didn't
Well,
have any
not
Romans
here.
here, but it's the
Yeah.
industry.
I always thought they lowered somebody down on a rope,
Oh.
but I'm wrong.
Oh.
Okay, so that was part of the correspondence. We may share the space on April 25th because there's going to be the budget hearings with the selectmen and the FinCom and the different town departments at this site. There was a vehicle, I'm not sure what kind, hit the stone wall near the Nelson plot at Pond Cemetery and before that, and supposedly broke off some of the granite posts. So Paul wanted to know if we had any posts that we would give up from the town, from the steamroller barn. And I told him I didn't know if that there were any complete ones. There might be partial ones or three-quarter ones there, but I didn't think that we would mind if they reused them at
No.
Pond Cemetery. Okay, we received a demolition request for 7 Helen Street. A gentleman named John Gregory had got in touch with Tracy, and she sent me this very interesting email about his concern about how people find town government, in particular, how they can pay their bills, because people end up at the historic townhouse, also known erroneously as the Old Town Hall, and they are confused about where to go and have to go to the library and ask the people there, and then when they finally end up at the town office building, they are not happy. So this is something we need to talk about, and the assistant town clerk sent us an email saying that acronyms need to be spelled out for transparency. And it wasn't just us, it was everybody who takes either posting or minutes. So from now on, I will not, after the 4th time of writing historic townhouse, I will not write HTH anymore. I will spell it out each time in my minutes. And
But we'll still have to differentiate between hall and house.
yes, I know. And for anyone who doesn't know, the historic townhouse, which is also called the Old Town Hall, or the town hall has a sign, has a historic sign on it. There is a bronze marker on the building that says it's on the National Historic Register. So that was done many years ago. So those are just the thing.
That's
Basically,
correspondence.
a lot of correspondence to us.
Any more?
Nope, that's it.
Okay. Moving on. Long-range plans.
Okay, one of the things that we talked about the last time was also, long-range plans are part of our planning, things we want to do, plans for 2024. So we had started to do things about making our inventory comprehensive, which is what the term Mass Historical Commission uses, MHC. And that's one of the things that we need to move forward to. We were having our town administrator help us, and also Mark Rexnick was also in the process of helping us too, and they are no longer with us, so we've got to continue with that. The archaeological survey map is another thing that needs to be done. And once those 2 things are taken care of, the third thing is we'll then be able to put something on the National Historic Register. So it could be either the historic plan of the first historic district in Lakeville, and also Thompson Hill Cemetery as a National Historic designation too. So those are the two kinds of things. And that feeds into the master plan meeting that I went to. I can talk about that right now, I guess. We have a form that they gave everybody that was coming to the meetings. You kind of see some of the different things, but on page 5, the third and fourth thing, Natural Cultural Resource Goal 5-2, complete and implement a historic preservation plan. So that's something that we need to do. And usually we have a consultant do that, or with us. So town funds would be secured for that. And then the second one under that, the last one under that, is Natural Cultural Resources 5.3 or 5-3. Consider creating a historic district where appropriate. And what we have talked about is the fact that at the intersection of Precinct Bedford and Main Street, we have mostly town-owned properties and 2 private entities, Sampson Cemetery and the Lakeville United Church of Christ, which are owned by not the town of Lakeville. So we had talked about the fact that we have the historic library, we have the historic townhouse, we have Dicker and Dyron Square, we have Sampson Cemetery, and we have the church, which was moved from Precinct and Rhode Island Road area in the 1970s. But it was on the site of the Washburn House, which was also the first post office in Lakeville. It was a hotel tavern, and during World War I, the people that were practicing at Camp Joe Hooker, which had a different name, I think, at that point, stayed there. So, I mean, there was a long history of this, the Washburns owning that whole intersection, all that property where the townhouse is, where the current library is, was the Washburn School. So all of that has a lot of history there. And so we thought that that would be a logical place to start with the first district.
Yeah.
And it was also called the King Philip Tavern.
King Philip Tavern, yeah.
So
And they
that
had the
shouldn't be
spring,
forgotten.
spring is in the back there, the special
And then
water.
in back is the King Philip Spring. You can still see it.
So the other thing that was on page 6, and it's Natural Cultural Resources Goal 5-4, is continue to support the existing and future historic and cultural events in town. And the Arts Council is the first one, and we were the second one. Support efforts to investigate the possible merging of the town's historical commission and the historical society. And the society is a private organization. All of us belong to it. But it's still an independent agency at this point in time. So the comment about the action merger is complicated, looking at options. And it's true, because you have to have people on board to want to do that sort of thing. So it's not something that would happen like this probably this year or anything like that. But one of the issues that will happen with the society is if it doesn't continue to grow its membership with people who are not as senior as the current population,
Like us.
then we will just kind of fade away type of thing. So that's something to think about. The master plan asked if we would just give them an update on what we've done. So we'll put something together for them. And they'd like it sort of like yearly maybe to let them know where we're progressing.
Okay.
So that was at the police station. And it was supposed to be Joan, but she was unable to attend, so I did it for her. But
Thank you very much.
you're welcome. They were very kind.
Okay,
fun.
thank you. Historic town buildings, the steamroller.
Okay, supposedly the cement floor is going to be going in.
Okay,
It was supposed to go in March 9th, but the support for the stage just went in this week, I think it was. So I'm not sure if they actually did it, and I just will shoot Paul an email to ask. Cemeteries.
okay. Cemeteries?
Nothing new.
Okay.
But the
Townhouse roof?
CPC, I got the agreement from the CPC to sign and send back, and then I can call the consultant who's gonna come and do the table stones at Thompson Hill.
Okay. Yep.
which is nice.
Townhouse roof.
We're still waiting on that. We will not be using the money from the CPC grant unless there's something terribly wrong with the roof, because the bid came in under the amount of money that had been appropriated and the Mass Historical grant, which was, we had a total of 60,000 and it came in under that. So
Right.
we have quite a bit of money that would be like,
Extra.
But we were prepared.
extra
In
in
case
case there's something,
there's
so we
some-
might not need to go into the CPC money
So
at
why'd
all.
you sign that and send it back and just sit on it?
No, I think you can start,
Because I got
Right, I got
the
it
agreement
one,
to
too.
sign for the townhouse roof.
oh, you did?
I did.
Okay. I think that they all know what's going on, so it's not gonna be a surprise, but, I think I would hold. There's no deadline. We have.
Just sign
we
it and
have to-
send it back.
Yeah,
Because I got both of them. I got the one for Thompson Hill and the one for the townhouse roof the same day.
look at the liaison one for the,
Mm. Yeah, the-
Thompson, yeah. Okay.
So I should sign it and send, maybe sign it and send it back.
Send it back, but I would put a note on top of it, just saying that we don't anticipate at
Right,
this
I mean,
point.
and that's what I thought when I got it, but I will.
Okay. Boston Post cane.
Nothing quite yet. I'm going to be looking at, remember we bought 2 canes, one to give to a person and one to use as a commemorative piece.
Right.
And we want to be able to put the plaques with everybody's name that we know
know.
that has received it. So I have to go I'm gonna have to go to the, like an emblem and badge type company. And there's one in Bridgewater that does plaques, and find out, it would have to be specially made, because we have to decide whether it's gonna be this way or if it's gonna be this way, perpendicular or horizontal, you know?
Because the cane is,
Right, and the thing is,
Long.
but the script, the engraving is this way. So you'd have to turn your
Look
head to look
sideways.
like, I don't know.
Okay, and we have a lady in town who will qualify to receive a gold-headed cane? Do we know her name?
not until the present one.
It's no longer with us.
Oh, okay, I thought there was somebody,
Somebody has just reached the age of a
100.
centennial. It's a
okay,
centennial.
somebody
But there are
reached the age of
several
100, that's pretty
people
good.
who
Right,
are
we have a
over
number of
Okay,
people
that's a
with
little
really interesting
We don't want
longevity.
to rush the
No, we
Yeah.
don't.
ceremony, no.
Must be the water in Lakeville.
Must be.
Honor roll.
We've been repaired,
It's been repaired.
and now the weather's warming up, so they
So
could
we
do
can
the
change, we
work.
can readjust the names. We have,
Okay.
Ken Vera's name is on it twice, so we have to take his name off once
Oh, okay,
on Vietnam.
yep. 175th anniversary.
We are going to be having a meeting of that committee prior to our regular Lakeville Historical Commission meeting in May. And that's May 23rd. And we will be meeting at the townhouse at that point, or historic townhouse, or town
Hope it's
hall.
warm enough.
Yeah.
I know.
We have heat, we have heat.
Brick project.
Which Joan just said that we have a couple of bricks, and we're gonna
Right.
wait until mid-April to put in the order.
Center stage project.
The footings have gone in this week, so there'll be some activity over there as soon as they, I guess, age or something.
Plans for 2024 Memorial Day.
It's Monday, May 27th. And if it's inclement weather, like we're having right now, we will have it at the historic townhouse. And if it's not, we will start at the fire station. And usually we walk or
Right.
drive from the fire station to Dickren Duran, which is the World War I Memorial Park, and then go across the street to the honor roll and the flag. And then we have an exhibit of Veterans Memorial materials from the museum and that people have that will be shown. And we celebrate somebody's birthday, but I
Yes, it is.
might be surprised.
Information from the master plan meeting.
I think I just went over that.
Okay,
Yep.
okay. a request from LakeCAM for window drapery in the historic townhouse. We need to invite them to come back. I think-
When Jose has a moment, he will come and talk to us about that. Okay, so the issue that we were just talking about was the signage. That's the next thing, Brian, for the historic townhouse.
Okay, signage for the historic townhouse, we had a call,
Person contacted Tracy and was concerned about the fact that because it says Town Hall on it, which is a I think we found out that it was a 1940s sign that was put on the building, because at that time, town government was there. It was before the Lakeville purchased the pumping station, which is now the town office building and fire station. The town government the safe was there at the townhouse. That's where you did your balloting. That's where all the records were kept and everything on the second floor after it stopped being a library. And so it was the center of town government. What we've done on the historic library, the Carnegie Library, is when they opened the new library, which is behind the steamroller barn and the townhouse, we put a sign out front that said Historic Lakeville Public Library, so that people would not be confused, and because sometimes the GPS would still send them to the Main Street property instead of to the Precinct Street property. So a really simple thing would be to add a sign on top of the town hall and have historic. And then maybe an informational plaque or something. We used to have a bulletin board between the two doors, but something that said, if you're looking for town government to pay your taxes, et cetera, you need to go to and put the street address for the
yes, that's
town
the
office
important
building.
issue here. Is
Unless
that-
somebody has another creative idea. And we do already have the plaque for National Historic Register on it.
But we also need to be able to say where to go for, like, the
And it would
Board
make
of Health.
everybody else's life easier, because then they wouldn't have to answer the question.
Right.
So if we put historic,
Yeah, I think that's the easiest
That's the easiest.
solution.
and it kind of matches what we did with the library.
It just matches something, match that says
And then,
Lakeville
and then
Town
have
Hall.
some kind of a sign that says, if you're looking to pay, or if you're looking for town government, please go to
The town office.
your town offices at, and put the street address on it.
And the old library too, because some offices are there, right?
Yes. and
Yes, that's right.
That's right. We do also have, of course, that sign's really highly visible from Main Street and from Bedford Street. It tells you who's there right there.
Mm-hmm.
So we might not have to add that. I don't know if people are having trouble finding the building department or the conservation department or the Board of Health.
Right. The
I
sign
haven't
says.
seen anything about that.
Yeah.
Okay?
Okay.
Now, do we,
We'll talk to Paul about this.
okay.
So I would pursue a motion to add the word, a sign to the historic townhouse that says historic over the town hall sign. And to also add some information that will redirect people to where the center of government is at the town office building. That's my motion.
I second.
Any further
Aye.
discussion?
Did you second it?
I
She
second.
seconded.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Those
No
opposed?
discussion? Aye.
Uh,
Passes?
Motion passes.
Okay, and so as
Unanimous.
part of this, I will contact, that will be one more thing I'll ask Paul about. When I send him an email.
Demolition sign-offs.
Yes, I did an electronic sign-off on the home at 7 Helen Street. It's a 1955 cottage at Clark Shores, small building. And evidently, I'm not sure why the reason is for demolition, but it could be just it's really small. And It's not on our inventory, and it's not in any pending list for an inventory. So I signed off on that. We have no gifts this month.
I have a,
You have a
a
gift?
potential for a gift. Let me find it.
So. Potential gift.
It's an old
Golden
golden
spur.
spur sign.
Where'd you find that?
Never saw that before.
Now, is it paper or is it
It's,
actually
it's
wood?
on heavy cardstock.
So is it for a menu?
We don't know. It's at Williams Trading Post.
Okay.
So
We don't have anything really for
we
the Golden
don't. So
Spur.
I was asked if I thought would want it, and I said I will bring it to the meeting tonight. So I'll send back the word yes. We'd love to have it.
Do we know how much it is?
No, I think she's going to donate it to us.
Oh, okay. Well,
nice.
whatever. If we have to pay for it, we have $50-something. I shouldn't say that out over the way.
I know.
Okay, I think that's a great, I move that we acquire a piece of Lakeville history, all the Golden Spurs, which was the restaurant where the Lions Club used to be, and now
No,
Mullen
it's-
Hill Church School is
School.
up there.
Yeah.
So it looks like, it's on heavy cardstock?
Heavy cardstock.
Yeah, it's either a signage, small. I move that we purchase it if
Somebody second?
Second.
Okay.
2 seconds.
Any discussion? All in favor of
Aye.
acquiring it? Those opposed? Motion carries. Unanimous.
Okay, I've already mentioned the annual report.
Lakeville Day?
Lakeville Day, last year, Jerry and you were so good to go in that cold March. It was around.
It was
this
windy.
Oh, it
week.
was
It would have been
so
pouring
windy.
rain if it was this week
This
like
week.
last year.
Right.
What date?
It's a Sunday, the Sunday before Mother's Day, the 5th.
5th, I think.
At from 11 to 3. And last year you
What month?
took May.
May.
I thought so.
Last year you took some of the material that we had,
Yes. I
and
think we had a double table and we had society stuff and commission items.
okay.
The Afghans, I call them throws. That's what the
Technically,
manufacturer
it's
says.
called
Well,
throws.
Paul
yes.
is
Lakeville
talking
throws.
about doing a word search or some kind of an activity sheet, so we could
Right.
include Paul's contribution too.
Mm-hmm. And we have the historic library ornaments.
Okay.
What else do we have? The books.
booklets.
Historic,
The
the
tour book.
first
We just
100
have,
years.
because it's going to be
and-
Right, like
outdoors,
then and now.
and it was
Then and
very
now.
windy there. We need to make sure that we secure whatever display material so that you're not having to pick it up off the ground or,
Yeah,
okay, so it's got to be.
it was mainly my hat.
Yeah, I was chasing your hat all the time, I know. And Brian was bundled up, he was freezing.
Freezing,
Yeah,
you could
his
see
little eyes were
it.
sticking
So it
out.
was a wise move, I think, to move to May. May can be
I
cold.
think so.
At the beginning,
Yes,
but March was really very windy last
Yes.
year. So we will be participating in that. We'll let Paula Hool know that.
Any other business?
Can't think of any.
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? We are adjourned.
Okay.